Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel outside the target demographic. Today I'm going to be showing you that heated vest you see like everywhere. Let's get started. Typically around winter, which we're just getting out of, you'll see on especially Amazon and eBay, a couple of YouTube advertisements will have this one was $20, but it's a USB 5-volt battery powered heated vest. So on the inside, you'll see it has the reflective thermal material. It's actually got some pretty decent down material in there. I'm sure it's not feathers or anything, but the vest itself is actually pretty thermally insulative. I'm pretty sure that's a word. Don't look it up. Don't fact check me on that. But for 20 bucks, the question is, does it work? And the answer is abso-friggin-lutely. So the biggest selling point to this, you do have on the exterior a pocket right where they should be. Nothing up high or, Napoleon hand cover kind of thing. Down low, we're going to use it. The pockets are actually quite sizable, so about the size of your hand. And they're almost sloped. So if you put something in there, it's less likely to fall out. But the big selling point is the interior pocket. What it has is a USB charging port, and what you'll need is a USB battery pack. I have a number of them on my channel. This is a third one you haven't seen before. This one was on Amazon. It is a model C1002Y, and it's a 10,000 milliamp hour USB A and C battery pack. You have a charge indicator here. We are over, we're about 100%, over 75%. It's a push button to turn it on, which I don't care for. Honestly, I think it's a economy thing or a better for the environment thing. This won't accidentally turn on would be the premise. You have to push the button. I'd really rather, when I plug this in, just give me my power. I don't feel like I need a second. Safety. Anywho, so this one's nice and thin. I think this was 17, 12? Call it 15, split the difference. $15. And it's nice and thin. It allows us to do this. I'm going to set this up in a way where you can see the battery pack and the indicator here. So when I first plug it in, you will notice it cycles through the settings, and that's just to show you that it is actually receiving power. The button itself is raised and of a rubber material. And it's probably, it's the size of your thumbnail. Call it a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. It's not small. And it is sitting right about the height of your heart. So it's almost like a Star Trek communicator from TNG. So with that, what you do is you push and hold for 2 seconds. And it will power on to your highest setting, indicated by the red. That makes sense. Your medium setting by white, I guess, whatever LED is on sale. And then, of course, your lowest setting would be blue. And it's simple enough. It's a button click, and you can mechanically feel the click, and you can audibly hear the click as well. It is of a big enough size that you can get to it when it's maybe concealed, and we'll be getting to that later. But also, it doesn't draw too much attention to you. People may ask questions. So what I've ended up doing on my vest, again, this one's my wife's, I put some black electrical tape covering up to here. And now you only have this little sliver, and it's less attention getting and less conversation starting. I can feel that it is warming up. What it has is... that is the cleanup song for the kids that aren't here. Would recommend the cleanup song, by the way. That'll be the life hack for the video. That's also the grandfather clock. Everyone should have one standby for the cuckoo clock. So you'll see right here that there's a wire filament. And there's a couple of them through this. Basically, there's a heating element on the backside, I believe in the neck, and also on the front side in here. I can feel one right here. And there's a number of heating elements. All of them are controlled by the same controller in the same way. So if you're on low, it's low all the way around. You can't turn on different zones, as it were. But in my testing with this 10,000 amp, 10,000 milliamp, wow, that'd be an impressive battery, 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack on low, you're looking like 7-8 hours of operating time. Plenty for a work day. Let's say if you're working outside in the cold, if you're a lumberjack, if you're picking up trash on the side of the road, if you're a park ranger, whatever, something where you're not necessarily going to be moving around to generate your heat, this is a fantastic solution for that. On the medium setting, I think I get about 5 hours, and on the high setting, it's probably 3 or 4 hours. That's going to depend on the battery pack, what the amperage rating is of the battery pack, there's the promised cuckoo clock, what the amperage rating of the output is. If it's a 10,000 milliamp hour, but it only puts out 1 amp, you're probably not even going to be able to go into the high setting, but that is going to diminish the runtime versus having a 2 amp output. All that to say, go ahead and get, a better battery pack for this. But going back to the being outside thing, the benefit with this is not only do you have to, or can you, wear this as a dedicated, vest, but it's also thin enough that you can wear it in underneath a jacket, or underneath a hoodie, or underneath a sweater, or really underneath a long sleeve shirt. It is going to give you a little bit of a Michelin Man kind of effect going on. People are going to know that there's something under there. But we work in a warehouse environment where we have to wear a uniform that is the, of course, company's uniform. With this, I can and have worn this underneath one of the long sleeve sweaters, and it is a active heat source to go along with the passive insulation that is having another layer of fabric up against you, and then of course the insulation of having a heater, or that would be the passive insulation of having the sweatshirt over this as well. So I have used this on the motorcycle when having a heated seat or a heated jacket that runs off of a wall receptacle, or 12 volt when the battery is already small enough, and boo boo boo. This is its own dedicated standalone heating system. So I have used this on the motorcycle in colder weather. I have used this in the warehouse while working. I have used this outside during the Christmas concerts and parades and celebrations and stuff like that. A fantastic way to make sure that the wind doesn't take the joy out of your night. This will actively heat you up as your jacket is passively blocking the wind. The last thing I've used this for is for hunting. Sitting up in a tree stand, you're off the ground, you're in the wind, you're in the rain, you're in the snow, you're trying not to move, you can't really to heat up your hands, you can't really to rub your calf and your thigh to warm up. So this is a fantastic way to make sure that your essential organs are heated, and by your heart and cardiovascular system knowing that you have a heat source, it's going to be more willing to send more heat out to your very cold extremities. So fantastic for that. What I've done, and you saw that I pulled this out of the pocket, it charges through USB-C, which is what our phone, her phone, my phone, every car that we have has these. My EDC backpack has one, blah, 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 blah. So by keeping a USB-C cable in the pocket with this, I can charge the USB battery pack anywhere I am, and I don't have to ask around for a cable, look around for a cable. I have, again, a standalone, already system set up for that. The other nice thing is you can get a USB extension cable and you can plug this into your car, cigarette outlet, or a cell phone charging port at work. So if you work at a office, you don't have to run this on battery power. You can use a USB extension and plug this in, and you can heat yourself up without drawing too much attention to yourself, especially if hypothetically, but also in reality, your work, totally hypothetically, doesn't like you having air heaters, room heaters, space heater, what have you. Fire hazard can be knocked over, can be left on, uses 1500 watts to heat the air around you that turns out doesn't stay around you either by being blown or through convection rising up to the ceiling. So while you're adding heat to the room, you're not necessarily adding heat to you. Usually they're on a timer and boo, 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 boo. This one is a direct heating solution. this is going to heat directly you. And that heat's going to be permeating directly into you, not a heat source heating the air that 4 feet away from you is then going to start heating up you, heating up your chair, heating up the bottom of your desk, boo, 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 boo. This is a personal heating device. Therefore, the efficiency is going to be much, much higher. Instead of a space heater using 1500 watts to heat up the air to heat up you, this is using, 5 volts at 2 amps, 10 watts versus 1500 watts. Fantastic. Also, second tip for the video, let's say you're married, hypothetically, and you have thermostat wars, hypothetically, and it has to be Bahama Beach in the house during the winter, even though you like it cold. And before you got married, you would literally have your bedroom window open, drafting the cold air in just so you could hibernate and get some sleep. Well, those days are over. All of this is hypothetically. So you can save on your electric bill by getting your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other one of these. She can set the temperature to whatever she wants to, and it's not even a heated blanket where she has to stay in place. She can put this on and walk around the entire house, and now the entire house, by extension, feels like it's warm, and my God, it's a godsend, which is why this one's actually my wife's jacket. I have one as well. I will say, had to do a cut to figure out which of the mini labels I was looking for, but this is a 4XL, 4 extra large. It says right there. Bit of a lie, as it turns out. Apparently the Chinese sizes are not representative of us Americans. Actually in the inverse, which is weird. So I'm pretty sure my jacket is a 3XL and I wear like a large. So it's very much off. I would recommend you purchase 3 sizes bigger than what you actually need. Now, that said, you do kind of want this tight, right? If the notion is the heating element is weak by design because it's directly against you, if you have that air gap in between you and it, what good is it doing? All that heat's just dissipating. Every time you walk, this is going to be moving and flapping against you. It's just going to be blowing that heat out. So you do want it undersized, but I would recommend at least 2 sizes smaller, probably more like 3, maybe even 4. All of my shirts, all my jackets, everything are a large. And again, we got the 3XL and it's a little loose on me. So maybe a 2XL. So like I said, go at least 2 sizes bigger, maybe 3. But you do want it to be a little bit snug. And again, the snugger it is, the easier it is to conceal it under another piece of article of clothing or a heavier weight jacket to keep the snow and the wind off you versus this guy that's going to be more so to keep the heat in and add some additional heat. But like I said, this is fantastic for use around the house, for use in the office, for use while hunting. And lastly, the last tip I will leave you with is this is fantastic for in the car. If you break down in the wind and the snow and the cold and the dark and the whatever, you have to go walk 2 miles to get to a gas station or something like that. This is a active heat source that is going to make your walk a little, I mean, you're still going to be swearing, but a little less miserable. And, your heat is directly linked to having a good battery, having gas, and enough of both of those to run your engine. And it's actually the heat from your engine that is what's going to be heating up your cabin. If you've ever gotten in your car and turned your heat on full blast and you're just icing over your eyes, it's because there's no heat to give. Your engine is as cold as the rest of the car, the ambient temperature outside. So there is no heat to give. That's why it takes 5-10 minutes before you can actually start heating up the cabin. Very difficult to run your engine for 10 minutes when you don't have gas, when you don't have a battery, when you're in bumper to bumper traffic and you're already on E and you don't want to be using. So this, again, as a standalone item, is battery powered that you can run from your car if your car is running, but then you have a battery pack that you would be running it from. And if you do it the way I did, you have a battery pack with 2 USB ports. So you can be charging your phone and this heated vest at the same time. So ideal for not end of the world scenarios, but please, I'm already having a bad enough day. How can I make my day better scenario? Also, this isn't about me. This isn't about you. This is about the rest of the occupants in your car. Much like most of the everyday carry stuff I cover on this channel, I'm not the only one in my car. Sometimes I have 2 kids, so they'll have to fight over it. But if we're in a bad situation, breakdown, what have you, one of them can be under a blanket, one of them can be running the heated vest for 5-10 minutes, and then we just keep swapping, right? So it's a solution to a lot of problems you may not fully appreciate, you may not necessarily have had in your life, but it could very well happen. And it is a, I'm not going to say low quality, I will say a foldable, crushable material that you could probably roll this whole thing up. The battery pack is fighting me here. Stand by. I'm going to do like that. I'm going to do like this. We're going to fold that up. So it rolls into about the size of a roll of paper towels. And if you had it in like a Ziploc or something, you'd be able to suck the air out and compress it down quite a bit smaller. So you could put this in a day bag. You could put this in a hiking bag. You could put this in almost a purse, depending on how big the luggage your woman slings under your arm. I know mine has downsized recently, but my God, I'm pretty sure her hips and her shoulders. Anyways, and that's about all she wrote. So again, for 20 bucks, fantastic piece of kit. Use it in your car, use it at work, use it as you're outside. Use it for hunting, use it for the motorcycle, use it for skiing, all sorts of things. For $20, it's absolutely worth it. I will tell you, as a final closer, you do have your 3 settings. The highest setting, while hunting, I could probably leave this on for literally a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then I have to bump it back down. This thing gets ridiculously hot. I will go ahead and try and post here the temperatures based on what the advertisement says. I think it's like, again, I'm going to try and post it there. But this generates some wicked heat like you wouldn't believe. Unfortunately, the heat is dissipated throughout, so I can't really like put a thermometer on here and show you that it's heating up. But it definitely does. It will, I mean, your body temperature is already 97, right? So if it can keep the wind off you and then be pumping watts of heat into your body, oh God, you absolutely feel it. A big seller. I believe I've gotten my parents' one as well. My dad's a firefighter. Turns out that's a lot of holding a hose. You make your own jokes. And cold water being sprayed everywhere, a lot of standing around outside of the building that it turns out is a little hotter than it's supposed to be. So I believe I have him one of these as well as a Christmas gift, and it sits right there next to his boots and his jacket in the back of the car. He has it for when he needs it. He can put it on, if at least another layer of insulation to keep that heat in, but also he has the ability to be pumping some heat into him as Mother Nature is actively trying to withdraw it from him. So this is outside the target demographic. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Any questions, comments, concerns you have, leave them in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.